Hey, and welcome to another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And we're back for, I guess, what's, post episode 50, which would be episode 51. Interesting.
For those of you that can count.
Yes. We're not counting. There's not 49 episodes left. There's God knows how many left. But so let's just jump right into it. Chris and Josh went on a little adventure.
Yeah, Josh and I, Josh specifically, caught wind that the new Ghostbusters movie is being filmed up in the Boston area, and found a little advertisement asking for extras. And we thought, oh, cool, they're shooting a scene and they want like a huge group of extras, let's go check it out. And so we ended up driving all the way up to Boston. For those of you that don't know, from D.C. to Boston is about 7.5 hours, which we drove in the middle of the night because I got off work late and I don't sleep. So we made that run, got there. Turns out it was just a cavalcade, as I like to call it, where they're literally just, you walk in, you say, hey, I want to be an extra, and they're like, cool, give us your information, and maybe we'll call you. So we are now on the list of potential extras for any scene in the movie, not just, one particular scene. So we could be students at the school, we could be random people walking around the street, who knows. I'm sure we probably, if we do get in it, we probably aren't allowed to disclose what happens in the scene, but we will do whatever we can to let you know that we are or are not in the movie.
Did you have to sign NDAs there at
all?
Okay.
No, I imagine that would be part of like the
actually being filmed.
Yeah, once you get there, you have the you are allowed to photograph my face. Here's the NDA contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, on the way to and from, you guys also saw the first 2 episodes of season 2 of True Detective?
Yes. So it was a fairly boring drive up there, and it was, like I said, the middle of the night. So to keep us awake, I flipped on True Detective on my phone because I have HBO Go during the park, the Jersey Turnpike, because that's the longest strip that you run where you don't have to make any turns or anything like that. And there was no one on the road, so I was like, all right, let's do this. And so Josh and I watched. Well, Josh watched, and I kind of like half paid attention to the episode because I was also driving, and I'm not stupid. I do not necessarily the best ideas, but I'm not going to sit there and watch TV while I'm driving.
You're not going to endanger lives.
Right.
I was in no real danger.
But the children that we almost hit.
Yeah.
They deserved it.
I mean, they were in Jersey.
Yeah. Gosh. I just watched all our numbers evaporate in the Garden State.
It's all right. We have France now.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. But, Jake and I have watched the first 2 episodes as well, and if you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that Jake and I were like all kinds of like Gaga over
Lady Gaga
Radio Gaga over fucking season 1 of True Detective, because it was just like, it was one of my favorite shows last year.
Definitely.
What are you guys' thoughts on season 2 so far? Like that opening theme, for example.
Oh my god! So I was like, all right, cool. All right. This is definitely a show. To take the eternal words of Josh, and then that theme song starts, and like the first line, I just go, "What the fuck is this?" Because it's just such a weird cadence and like voice to use, and like already like the instrumental is like kind of like, huh? But I was like, well, I remember the season 1 being like kind of offsetting, because like the entire show is supposed to be kind of offsetting. So I was like, all right, cool, let's roll with it. And then that first line, I was just like, the fuck? Like Sam had challenged me because he had seen it already and he knew that I hadn't watched it yet. Sam challenged me to not laugh during the opening credits, so I put on straight face, and that first lyric came on. I didn't laugh, but I was so disappointed in HBO. I was like, the fuck is going on here?
It means like when they were like, this is gonna, like, you can just imagine like the execs just like, this captures the spirit.
Yeah, I would love to see them like 5 songs in front of them. It's like, okay, boss, we've narrowed it down to this one. We need you, the executive producer. McConaughey, because I saw his name in the credits. McConaughey, you need to choose which one it is. And he's like, all right.
All right.
Yeah, he says all right for each song.
Yeah.
And he's like, this one. This is it.
And then drives off in this Lincoln.
It's kind of like, if you haven't heard it, look it up. It's like borderline self-parody.
Yeah. And the second episode, I laughed the entire way because I knew what was coming, and I was just like, I can't believe it.
Well, I remember Sam and I, we both realized we hadn't seen it yet, and we're like, all right, let's, we heard it's okay, but let's check it out. We'll be the judges of this. And we sat down and we hit play, and we weren't like even like kind of all settled in yet, and it started playing the theme song, and we immediately looked at each other and we were like, oh god, because it's just, I don't know, the second time I listened to it, there was like a weird groove to it.
Honestly, by the end of the season, I'm probably going to actually like it, and I'm probably going to ask one of you to kill me.
Well, I told Sam, I told Sam, I was like, look, there's 8 times we're going to hear this song, at least, and by the end, we'll either absolutely love it because we're insane, or we'll absolutely hate it.
So you'll either have, what is it, where captive Munchausen,
Stockholm.
Stockholm, yeah. You'll either have Stockholm,
yeah,
or you'll become the Punisher.
Yeah. It's as soon as
God, that's not even close.
No, it's a film with Uma Thurman.
Well,
it's actually her.
Also, it's where you intentionally make yourself sick.
Is it?
Yeah, Munchausen's syndrome is where you make yourself sick to get pity, and then Munchausen by proxy is where you make other people sick to get the sympathy of, oh, how hard is it to, or how nice is it that you take care of people.
Right. I was thinking The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
I mean, there's that too. It's a great movie.
Yeah. As soon as those backup singers kick in,
oh god,
in the theme, that's when I always lose it. They're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The visuals are pretty during it, though.
Oh yeah, I mean they're always.
Is it the same production team?
I feel like it. It has the same kind of visual aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's either the same team or it's a team doing a good job of copying it. There hasn't been as many amazing shots. Like for me, I'm pretty sure everyone's well aware that I wasn't the hugest True Detective fan, but the visuals were enough to keep me relatively engaged. And then once I got into the story, about halfway through, like I was able to get into it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and if you haven't seen either season of True Detective, just skip forward like 5 minutes or so. Season 1 doesn't really, though they almost solve the mystery as an afterthought, right? They're like, oh, he's totally got like green paint. Like that's how they solve the fucking mystery. Like it's like there is a mystery there, but the heart of the show is this partnership between Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, whereas so far as I can tell, we're only 2 episodes in again. What I can tell about season 2 is the focus is on the mystery. You don't get any of the time jumps that you did, like the multiple narratives.
In the first episode, there was that jump back 9 years prior,
where he goes like into hell.
Yeah, and I thought I made the joke to Josh while I was watching, thinking that they were going to continue the motif of jumping, time jumps. I was like, oh, isn't this interesting? They have like normal face on Colin Farrell for like the interview, like the in the future interview portions, and then for the time jumps back into the past where the main story is going to take place, they have him in young face. Like, isn't that weird that they would put all that effort on, putting makeup on for the bulk of the show, and then they never jumped back again? And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not like, I didn't mind the 3 timelines in season 1, but
I did.
I don't miss it in season 2.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah. Well, you guys know that like one of my big problems with season 1 is that I don't like that narrative style where you're interviewing someone and then it cuts back to show what he's talking about. But in the end, it did pay off, which was nice. But you just had to get through 7 episodes.
Well, I think they jump into at the end of episode 6.
Yeah, because 6 was my favorite episode of the series, where like they meet up at the end.
Oh, that's true.
Buy you a drink.
Actually, you're buying.
Yeah, you buy. And I was like, oh, they're meeting up in present day.
Yeah, solving the mystery 17 years later.
Yeah. Gotta watch that again. But
for a couple True Detectives, they're pretty lousy at solving that one case.
Yeah. Well, they think they solve it just once.
Yeah.
They don't think they solve it the second time. They just beat the shit out of each other, and they're like, "Fuck it, we're done."
Yeah.
Well, actually, they get called off the case, right? Because it has to do with the politician's son.
Yeah.
But you were about to say something, Jake?
Well, I mean, many moons ago when it was first being announced, like everyone knows, I'm a big Taylor Kitsch fan. I like Colin Farrell fine enough. I
mean, he was the best Bullseye.
Yeah.
To date only.
I guess.
Hence why the best.
Yeah.
It's easy to be the best when there's no competition.
But I don't know. And we had, like I said earlier, we had heard plenty of things about is the show going to be good or not, and it was getting pretty weird reviews. Not even like bad, just weird reviews. And then we watched it, and it was. I had so much fun watching a first episode that I didn't understand or necessarily like. It was kind of just all over the place, and it does that great thing where like the last 3 minutes, you're like, oh yeah, True Detective. Like he gets that,
Well, if there's one thing that True Detective, even the weaker episodes throughout, have done, I always like the way they end an episode.
Mm-hmm.
I always like that.
They do.
That was what sold me on the first season. Was it like 4 episodes in? They're driving in the car, and one of them says something about real men are monsters or whatever it is, or monsters are always men, or the quote. And then like the camera pans out, and you see a guy running into the woods. I was like, oh okay, I'm in.
But I think the performances are strong. I know a lot of people talking about Vince Vaughn. Whatever.
I like this guy. I'm glad that it's not just like a typical Vince Vaughn.
Yeah,
character.
I mean
he's Vaughning it up.
There's some scenes where he's fine, he's good, but I never.
He's he's the tried and true cliche of a crook trying to go straight.
Yeah,
and when he's trying to go straight, he's just doesn't work for me. But when he's a crook. And very, I think, deliberately too, he's more in his element.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And then again, we were talking about how, Colin Farrell is kind of, billed as the star of the show and gets the flashy, insane dialogue and just crazy shit. And, so far Taylor Kitsch it hasn't done anything.
Just glower.
Just
be unimpressed with a blowjob.
Yeah. I guess 2 in that first episode, right?
No, he's accused.
One is solicited of.
Well, he's accused of soliciting and he's like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
We worked for America.
And you know what? It probably is, though.
s-
You see his face when he gets one. He's probably
we do never see if he goes through with it. We assume that he doesn't because of his character.
Erectile dysfunction.
Remember Sam?
Well, yeah, and then later we find out that he has erectile dysfunction, so we're like, oh, he wouldn't have been able to do it. But we don't actually see him, agree or decline.
Sam and I were starting
to
have a bit of a theory. We're like, is he gay?
Oh.
Because he talks shit and about gay people, and there's like a couple moments where he's like staring at him, like he's looking at his balcony and he's like drinking, and then there's like a tease for the next episode. He just seems uncomfortable around women. They made a point to show his like disinterested face getting a blowy.
Yeah, like that. They spent long enough time on it that like it's got to be important.
Yeah, but if they make it this huge reveal of like, yes, I'm gay, surprise, it's not going to do anything for the show. It's not going to do anything for his character either.
Well, he's got nothing going on.
There's not much character. We also know he's a war vet.
Yeah,
that's the only other, and he likes to drive as fast as he can.
All he wants is his motorcycle. Cast him as Johnny Blaze, but like,
it could be like, in American Beauty, there was that whole thing about the neighbor being like very militantly anti-gay, and then you find out that he himself is gay, and it actually was a huge, plot point.
Yeah, but for that time. Now, if they make it where it's like this is a huge major character development plot point for him, it's
what if they decide not to make it a huge? They just quietly.
Not everything has to be a huge.
Yeah. They're not going to be in the middle of like a briefing, and they'll be like, "What'd you got, Rachel McAdams?" She's like, "Well, I busted in at 3:00 in the morning." And he's like, "I'm gay, by the way."
Yeah,
and they're just like, okay,
yeah.
Next,
you don't have that much economy with an 8-episode miniseries, basically.
Yeah, but
it could be something that's never even said. It's something that you could just, it's just this.
Yeah, I mean, if they make it where like you keep second guessing it, that would be fine. But if they just be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is why he did all these things, then it's just.
Well, that would be bad writing no matter what it is.
Yeah. Though we have seen some bad writing where they're just like, I don't know. There's like when Rachel McAdams is talking to her character's talking to her father in the commune, and he's basically like, Chris always likes to do this thing in movies and TV where there's like just overt exposition. He does this little song and dance where he's like exposition, and
well, it's a parody of the Crossfire. So it's
exposition. Don't get caught up in the exposition. Exposition. Yeah.
Just pointing out the poor writing of like, this is this is this.
Yeah, when Rachel McAdams is talking to her father in the first episode, there's a lot of that, right? Where he's like, "Oh, you're angry, especially at men, da 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 da. Even though I'm a hippie father, and you should be like chill." And she's like, "Fuck you." And then in the second episode,
my sister's doing porn.
Yeah, I wonder if that connects to, because clearly the murder victim's into all kinds of sex stuff.
Yeah, I thought at the end of episode 2 we were going to come across her like dead sister.
Yeah, well, yeah. But there's
still 6 more episodes.
Yeah, the exposition-y moment was when Colin Farrell's ex-wife was talking to him. She was like, "You used to be a good man, and then something happened, and now you're not." And it's like, thank you.
9 years ago, when something bad happened
when
to you.
I descended into hell, because you can tell, because it's like a red room, and like Vince Vaughn's the devil, and I make a deal with him, and then I come out with a mustache.
Yeah,
the true mark.
True mark of the devil.
Yeah. But, no, I'm digging it, and I thought episode 2 was a big improvement over episode 1. And I'm really excited to see, where it goes next.
Yeah.
Josh, how do you feel about it? You kind of haven't, other than the fact that you're not impressed if Taylor Kitsch is gay.
Well, his acting performance has been about as astounding as a cardboard cutout.
As
so
his
far.
blowjob face? His blowjob face is your face watching his
when I heard the description of what that face looked like and then saw it, I thought, yes, this description is spot on.
By the way, could you present the description for the class?
It is trying to remember the last good plot of a NCIS episode.
Which, as we can all tell from the face, is never.
Yeah. It takes quite a while.
That NCIS.
Well, I feel like Taylor Kitsch's his real talent when it comes to
fighting aliens while on a battleship.
Yes. Bringing something to a performance is he's got like the raw nerve, which like they when they use that, and whether you like Savages or not, the best moments in that movie are from him just losing it, and then
losing it in the moment.
I'm
a fucking federal agent, man.
Yeah.
You just had the federal agent.
That is him stabbing John Travolta. One of my favorite scenes in that movie.
I mean, who hasn't wanted to stab John Travolta?
Can I just talk about like a scene in that movie that kicks so much ass and like no one talks about because everyone fucking hates that movie?
Go ahead.
Is when the drug lords are like, they steal Blake Lively and Kick-Ass and and John Carter are pretty pissed off, and they're just like, fuck you. And then the scene, I was in the theater and I could tell nobody was digging the movie, which made me dig it even more. And I was like, yeah. And there's this
now
scene.
You know how I feel.
Yeah.
It's the Nolan Butler syndrome.
Yeah. And there's that scene. Where they put on the Day of the Dead masks, and they kidnap what's her face's not Penelope Cruz.
No, the one that was in Desperado, Salma
Hayek's daughter, right? And it's so fucking badass because like the whole movie, the drug cartel is using fear to like terrorize people's emotions and shit. The whole fucking movie.
We'll keep the systems in line.
Yeah.
Fear this battle station.
And so they got like the two of them sitting there, right? And they're in their fucking Day of the Dead mask, and they're just like, "Yo, Blake Lively, we're coming to fucking get you," right? And they're like, we're not gonna. Right? They're like, we don't fight. And then what's her face? Selena Gomez. No, what the fuck is her name? We just said her fucking name. Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek's like, no, you're not gonna fucking get her because I have Blake Lively. And they're like, oh yeah. And they open a fridge and her daughter is like inside, like with bound and gagged. And they're like, fuck you. And she's going, Mom! And they slam the door on her, and they're like, we're coming to get you, Blake Lively. And they just walk off, and I was like, oh, they're giving it back like 10 times.
You know why Savages sucks? It brought the... well, and this will probably be a selling point for some of us. It brought the term wargasms
that sucks.
into the popular nomenclature.
That part sucks. Well,
Sean
again,
is Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never heard the term wargasms before.
Well, you see it as
kind
he's
of
like
glad.
fucking the shit out of Blake Lively.
Yeah.
So I'm basically waiting for that performance from him in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they tap into, and he has charisma, and he's fantastic in Friday Night Lights, and I liked John Carter a lot, and he's really like his best performance is in a movie called The Bang Bang Club about the South African combat photographers, true story about them. And I think character's name is Kevin Brown. True Left guy won a Pulitzer taking a picture of a boy with a vulture behind it, and the boy is like malnourished, and the implication is that the vulture is waiting for the boy to die. And they kind of give, in real life, they were like, why didn't you save the kid? Why did you just take the picture and leave? And he's like a drug addict, and he goes fucking nuts over it, and it wrecks him, and he kills himself.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
so he's fantastic. Like, he gets gone. He does the South African accent really well. Anyway, the Taylor Kitsch hour. He, what they can tap into, and if they're fucking smart with True Detectives, they'll tap into that raw nerve thing. Because right now, he's just simmering. He hasn't cracked and broke
when he's
yet.
on that motorcycle at the end of the
And you see the ripples in his
Yeah, he's just like, yeah. But again,
Taylor Kitsch is Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. He's got the jacket. Cast him as Johnny Blaze, or maybe
set him on fire. Come on.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Danny Ketch. Johnny Ketch needs to Johnny Ketch. Johnny Blaze needs to be the older, scruffier guy.
You need Johnny Blaze before you can have Danny Ketch.
Well, no, exactly.
But
you
we've
gotta
had it
have.
twice.
You gotta have.
Before
So
you can play
what I'm saying
cricket.
is, you get a Johnny Blaze first, and then you bring in Taylor Kitsch as Danny
had
Ketch.
2 Johnny Blazes.
Well, two
Well, I mean,
performances
two, yeah.
by the same
Yeah.
one.
But so Josh, other than just Taylor Kitsch all around, then
I mean, I am enjoying this season because, the first one sold me on what True Detective is supposed to be for HBO. Each one, at least of what they said, is going to be a completely distinct story. And
like American Horror Story, but good.
yes.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I'll say that because American Horror Story does nothing for me. But yeah, I loved everything the first season brought. I'm waiting for like the extreme wow factor for this one. Like the last one, other than the chemistry between the two leads, was the extreme running shot they had through the.
Oh yeah, the single shot of the raid.
Barrio, episode
Yeah.
4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like episode 4 is what sold me on season 1.
Well, you got 2 more episodes.
Yeah. What's gonna be the mid-season break?
Well, they might have already
Taylor Kitsch
showed their
blowjob
hand
face.
of what they think their huge selling point might be in this second episode.
If that's yeah.
Which, if it is, it's kind of like, yeah, we really don't know how to do a second season to top the first, guys, so we're just trying
I
everything.
don't know, man. I'm okay.
I don't know, Walt.
Yeah, I mean, what happens in the end of episode 2 is like pretty much more shocking
Well,
than anything I
Josh
think
is
of.
just upset because that was the selling point for him.
Everything that happened before
So,
that.
so if you haven't seen episode 2, just plug your ears for a second. But like the last shot was Colin Farrell.
The last shot.
Yeah, pop. Colin Farrell getting shot twice, pretty much point blank range both times by
the
a shotgun.
Birdman.
Yeah.
my new favorite character.
Yeah, I saw that mask. In the first episode where they're driving in the car, I was like, "Well, that's a creepy fucking mask." Back when I thought that guy was still alive, and I was like, "Oh, that guy, he's clearly like the fucking weirdo killer guy because he's got a creepy mask." Come to find out, he's just the first victim that we know about. But
with his
yeah,
eyes.
so it's pretty fucking ballsy of them to potentially kill off the top billed character in the second episode.
just like executive decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Except I
Dude,
like
that,
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
That pissed me off so much because at the time I was like in a huge Seagal like frenzy, and I was like, I fucking love Backdraft, or not back, was it Under Siege for sure?
Under Siege, Fire Down Below.
Possibly.
What's that line? He's just like, "We're not gonna make it on this plane. You
will."
And I was like, "Yes, fucking die, Steven Seagal."
Yeah, I was just like, what?
That movie's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it ended up being a great movie. So, by the end of it, I didn't care. Like, I wasn't offended anymore. But I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
The last good Kurt Russell movie before 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
Yeah. Or like,
No. Did Breakdown come out?
I mean, when
After
did
that?
Escape from L.A. come out? Because everyone knows that's his best movie.
94-ish? 93, 94?
Breakdown. Everyone go see Breakdown. That movie's badass. I don't remember when that movie came out, but that movie is like
That's the trucker one, isn't
yeah,
it?
that
Yeah, that's a
fucking
great
awesome.
one.
That movie's fucking awesome.
But yeah, season,
Or the first Scream movie where they killed off Drew Barrymore.
yeah.
She's the second death.
She, because her boyfriend, right?
Yeah. Lots of people forget that.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm very interested to see where it goes next. I'm still not like it's as good as season 1, but it's damn good. You just I think you just have to accept that it's something completely different.
Yeah, it roped me in and got me interested quicker than season 1, because like I said, it took about 4 or 5 episodes to get me into the first season. This one, I'm already interested.
Now, Juan Federico, you also saw Ted 2?
Yes, I did. For a second, I was like, who the fuck is Juan Federico?
Yeah, I'm still wondering. I mean, I figured it out, but...
I did. I quite enjoyed the first Ted movie. I think a lot of it because it had the Flash Gordon callbacks. And the thing is, like, the quick rundown is that the first Ted movie surprised me because it's actually, I think, a really good movie that's really, really funny. And Ted 2 is basically just a funny movie. It's kind of all over the place. They kind of jump back and forth between plot stuff. It's such an improvement over...
Do they sing the theme from Octopussy?
No.
What about the...
They mentioned
Nobody
Rocky
Does It
3.
Better?
Yeah, they mentioned Rocky 3. And Ted changes... He needs a last name, so his name is Ted Clubber Lang. And, spoiler, he has a kid and names it Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed Clubber Lang is the kid's name. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cameos in the movie, which are fun. My sister and I saw it, and there was a kid sitting next to us, and every time a cameo would happen or something funny, he would go, "Wow, whoa, he didn't do, whoa."
That would have made me punch him in the face.
Wait, there was a kid?
A teenager.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
kid. There was parents that sat down 5 minutes into the movie reeking of weed with like a 4-year-old kid, and then right when the movie was ending, they got out of there.
The kid was the stoner.
Probably. But no, it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. Seth MacFarlane swings for the fences every time with the humor, whether it's offensive or not. And there's plenty of times I could think people were going to take some real offense to some of it. But again, that's what he does, and it's such a vast improvement over a million Ways to Die in the West. Because again, I like Seth MacFarlane, but that movie is garbage. There is one scene that like nobody else found funny because I was just like laughing, and then I was like laughing even harder because no one else was laughing. When you're not supposed to be laughing anymore, like everyone's like, "Shut up." There's a scene where like they're in the courtroom and it's not going well, and Ted turns around to Mark Wahlberg and he's like, "Maybe we should use the Beetlejuice thing, Beetlejuice." And Mark Wahlberg's like, "Well, shut the fuck up! Are you crazy? We don't want that guy, that psycho, running around here." And like the desperation on Mark Wahlberg's face that if you say it 3 times, he'll actually show up. And he's like, "I don't know. Let's just try it." And he's like, "Beetlejuice." He's like, "Seriously, shut the fuck up, man. You don't know what kind of shit that's gonna invite." And like the terror on his face that they could actually call on Beetlejuice was pretty hilarious.
Would have been great if that happened and just Michael Keaton happens to walk
That
into
would
the
have been
courtroom.
fantastic. But yeah, I mean, like
Just like a surprise cameo.
Like, I heard my name?
yeah. Amanda Seyfried's in it. She doesn't really replace what's her name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. They just, for a plot point, they decided not to go with her. There wasn't any like weirdness behind the scenes or anything.
Also, I think she may have been pregnant at the time.
No, I mean, I just heard that
With the son of Kuchar.
Seth MacFarlane.
Kucha's son.
That Seth MacFarlane was like, we just wanted to make an interesting plot point from the end of one, and so she's solid in it. But yeah, it's funny. It ends in New York Comic Con, so there's a lot of cosplay stuff, some really funny things.
Oh, well, then Josh will hate it.
Yeah,
Well, I
just
can
pretend it's
watch
San
it.
Diego.
To
Not San
the
Diego.
end.
No thanks.
Yeah,
I can watch it to the end, get belligerent drunk, and then continue watching.
and I didn't know this going into it, and I didn't find it out till I was listening to the podcast later on because Ralph Garman works on a lot of Seth MacFarlane related projects, and he plays John Bennett's father, Mark Wahlberg's father, in the first Ted. And so I was listening to the most recent Hollywood Babylon with him and Kevin Smith, and he's in the movie as a stormtrooper, like because he's like, "How am I gonna be in this movie? Like, I'm already the dad." And Seth MacFarlane's like, "Oh, we'll just throw stormtrooper shit on you." And so like they're driving to New York and they come across Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, and a stormtrooper, and they almost hit him. And they're like, "Hey, I'm walking here," and like it makes sense now. The stormtrooper is Ralph Garman. He's like giving it back, blah blah blah. And there's a recurring gag that Amanda Seyfried is like 26, so she doesn't know anything about pop culture. She's like, "Yeah, you tell him, Captain Kirk." And they're like, and all of them immediately turn on her, including Ted and Wahlberg. Like, yo, just shut up, okay? Just, you don't know. And then they're like, whatever. And then
I mean, to be fair, that's a great insult.
and Ted is like, hey, or I think it's Ted or Wahlberg, like, hey, why the fuck are you three walking together anyway like this? Like, New York Comic Con. They're like, yeah, but like, he's your boss and you're his enemy. Like, you guys would never be hanging out ever. And then they're like, whatever, fuck you. And they start to walk away. And the guy who's Darth Vader is silent. And he starts to try to do the Force thing on the car. And they go, come on, Frank. That's not going to work. Just get out of here. But, you know, again, McFarlane's such a huge pop culture fan. So there's so many, like, fun little moments.
Is it narrated by Patrick Stewart again?
Yes, it is. Yep. They don't rip on Brandon Routh, though. I was waiting for that thing in the end where they just rip on a celebrity. Because, like, out of nowhere, they just shit on Brandon Routh as Superman. They do rip on Steven Tyler really bad at one point where it's just like, you know, who the fuck says what a human is a human, man? I mean, what the fuck, Steven Tyler? He looks like a soccer mom Goonie monster. And I thought that was like the funniest shit in the world. A fellow Boston guy too, which is really funny.
To be fair, it's true.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, if you enjoyed the first Ted, you'll enjoy the second Ted. It doesn't have as much heart, but it's funny, man. And you know, even when I go see comedies, I don't laugh out loud that much in theaters. But something about the Ted movie, you know, and the Seth MacFarlane stuff, I was laughing out loud plenty. So I had a good time. Like I said, if you saw the first Ted, go see the second Ted. I think you'll dig it.
Well, we also saw another movie.
We did.
Inside Out.
Yeah, which is like a fucking good movie.
It was, yeah. I mean, I thought that after Toy Story 3, they were kind of in a slump.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, 3's intense.
Yeah.
Just really, really intense when you know, I go back and think about it. But
it's got Michael Keaton.
Well, that's why
it does actually have Michael Keaton. Yeah.
That's
and
why
Timothy
they had
Dalton.
to reflect back upon themselves and search their feelings.
Yeah.
And then they were like, guys, we've done What If Toys Have Feelings? Let's do What If Feelings Had Feelings?
Yeah. We've done toys, cars, bugs, fish. Let's go feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I didn't think, Cars 2 and Brave. Brave is better than Cars 2.
I didn't see Brave.
I enjoyed Brave.
Yeah.
I
Brave
was
is
good.
better than Cars 2.
For sure.
But it's not.
Brave is better than Cars 1.
Yeah. And Monsters U
I never saw that either.
is better than Brave.
Okay.
It's got Charlie Day.
Nice.
He's the U.
Okay.
That makes no sense unless you know what his character looks like. Just assume it's a furry U.
Okay.
I'm assuming that it looks like Jake, and that's why you said he's the you.
Yeah. I'm actually pointing at him.
The word you.
I got the day stubble, I guess.
Yeah. The Al Pacino impression. Just another crooked cop. Crooked cop.
He just have his cervical.
Yeah.
That's a great episode.
Leaves an envelope written with mayor written on it. Mare in front of the mayor's office. And then just the janitor picks it up and throws it away. But the
I will say this is the most creative movie they've done. Like all the movies are really clever and creative, but like the amount of like creativity and detail they went into it was really stellar.
it's probably my favorite since WALL-E, if I'm to be perfectly honest. The only thing between WALL-E and Toy Story 3 is Up.
Okay, Up's good. I like Toy Story 3 more than Up, but
Yeah. I like Toy Story 3 more than Up, too.
because Toy Story 3, the thing
Isn't
about
up to.
the the thing about the Toy Story franchise that it's
Only
so
you can see us when we're in the studio, like all our...
I'm leaning back, and then I hear him say up to, and I just launch at the microphone.
But just like the reactions we have to like stuff like that, the puns, we're
yeah.
just like,
And
It's always-
usually I'm joining in with like, ugh.
there's always at least one of us that is just waiting for it to end and then go back in. I was the one waiting for that one to end.
Yeah.
Just like, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I did interrupt you.
that's fine. Fuck you. That's fine. Toy Story. The thing that's great about Toy Story is like we were following Andy.
yeah.
It like our age was reflecting that. So you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that was a really cool. Like when that journey was over, it was
We're dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we died at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Toy
Andy
Story
dies
4,
in Toy Story 3, but guys, if
yeah,
you haven't seen
yeah.
a spoiler.
Toy Story 4,
Wow.
Beyond the Grave.
Yeah.
The quest for peace.
Yeah.
Andy gets rid of all the nuclear bombs in the world. and-
Yeah. Has to fight Nuclear Man.
Yeah, with the fucking fingernails.
Yeah. Looks like a bad 80s hair metal.
And then
front
has
man.
to fight Nuclear Man too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
But and fixes the Great Wall of China with his eyes. The what I know we've talked Pixar before, but just for the record again, what would you say is your favorite Pixar film? Incredibles.
I know why you do that too, because usually you're like Jake, Chris, or Josh, and like we all talk for like an hour, and then we forget that Sam hadn't said his yet, and he's like, "But by the way, mine was Incredibles." Wally.
I'm gonna have to go with Incredibles as well. Dead Air.
This is my least favorite line.
Oh, now I've got it. Thanks, Jake.
Pixar's True Detective
Yeah.
Season 2.
That'd be fucked.
Oh,
Imagine the Birdman in that one.
Ooh. Cosplay.
it's probably a tie
Played by Michael
between Wall-E and The Incredibles.
Wow,
so-
such great diversity, guys.
Yeah.
They're just fucking awesome
Well,
movies.
Incredibles for the source material, Wall-E because it got me right in the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also a big fan of Ratatouille. I feel like that doesn't get enough credit.
Peter O'Toole's in that, right?
He is. He's Anton Ego. He almost he threatens to rip out one of the characters' hearts and roast it on a spit.
Mm.
Badass, because it's like fucking
Indeed,
Peter
indeed.
O'Toole, who has a voice that can just make you hit puberty again.
For the first time all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean those are some of my favorite. But yeah, I mean everybody does a good job. I think, it's some of like dream casting. Amy Poehler is Joy. Lewis Black is fucking Anger.
Yeah.
That's like perfect,
I feel like Richard Kind really steals the show as the imaginary
as
friend.
Bing Bong.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hear a lot about that character and that he does extremely well, but I know nothing about it.
Gotta watch the movie, man. Gotta watch that movie.
Yeah, man.
It's right there in the theaters, man.
Yeah. In cinemas now. Catch it for $5. Well, you're all the way on Percival.
Not currently.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's crashing on my couch for the week.
My house says, well, at least the ground floor is uninhabitable until at least Thursday.
We could totally go see it on cheap Wednesdays.
Sold.
Or Tuesday. Well, it's not at
Or Tuesday, sorry.
Yeah, because it's
We
not
could,
a corner.
corner is Wednesday.
Go to the new revamped multiplex.
tomorrow.
I used
Sold.
that's where I saw Return of the Jedi Special Edition. I think that might have been one of the first movies. Either that or Free Willy might have been the first movie
Free
I
Willy
saw at the
was
Centerville.
Free Willy 2 was the first one I saw.
Multiplex.
And I saw Empire Strikes Back there. That's the Star Wars one I saw.
Yeah.
I saw those both at the Springfield Mall multiplex before it got tore down.
Yeah.
Had
The
you
special editions? I don't know about
Yeah.
Free Willy.
had
Probably,
you
probably it's Springfield because that was where I saw
Yeah.
like everything.
I know this is like decades back, but or maybe just years, depending. Since you used to live in Springfield, do you remember what the first movie you saw at the Centerville Multiplex was?
I think one of the Matrixes because I moved here. Matrix 2 was definitely one of the first movies I saw there because that came out right around the time that I moved here.
Yeah,
And I had a friend that
2003.
I had a friend that worked at the theater, and we got in to see the employee screening.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is your house being fumigated or something, Josh? Or
No, all the hardwood floors are being redone, so they can't be touched.
of course. So wait, where's the dog?
Two of them are at a hotel. The other two are in the schoolhouse in the backyard.
Please tell me they're like by themselves at a
Hotel
hotel.
for dogs.
Like they're like, yeah, they're just like.
In Boston, there is a Pooch Motel, and Josh and I almost raided it.
I've never
Yeah,
actually been to the state of Massachusetts.
it's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
I have now been there for winter and summer.
And at least once for real this time.
Yeah. This time I actually spent time out and about.
Were you at like an event or something the last time?
The first time was that trip that I made with Nicole to
Oh,
drop off the
yeah,
RV.
yeah.
And so basically we drove all the way up there, dropped off the RV, and then went across the street to the train station to come back down.
Right.
Did you see Fenway Park?
From
On either
afar.
trip? Nice.
Well, from
Baseball's-
afar, as in like we
Baseball's
just
Cathedral.
looked out to the right, and it was like
Yeah,
a few
Josh was like,
feet from us.
"Oh, the green monster."
There it is.
And I was like, "Huh?"
The best thing to
I don't
do is
know that
like
that's what Fenway
when
Park
you
is called.
when you
Yeah.
go to Fenway Park, when you look at it at a certain light, you can see thousands of dents from like hundreds of years, like 100 years of baseball. It's just fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's that and Wrigley Field are the only two classic stadiums left.
Yeah. I haven't been to Wrigley, but Fenway Park,
Yeah.
man.
I'd love to go to a game at both of those.
Fenway Park's nice.
Yeah.
I love it. All the seats. It's funny because the seats like Chris, you couldn't sit in those seats because like they're 100 years old, so
Ugh.
like it's really like it's tight
So
for
everyone
me.
was really short.
Yeah. Seriously.
I'll get a standing.
They added seats, above the big green monster like years ago.
Mhm.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to sit there. That'd be
On
really
top of the
cool.
green monster?
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be really
Yeah.
cool. Because for the longest time they didn't have seats there.
I'll
But the
just
thing
bring
is,
my own seat.
down the right field line, like you can hit basically like what would be a foul ball, and it just stays fair, like a little pop fly, and it'll be a home run. It's like 320, 315 down the line, something insane like that. Where like you
Is
can.
that the shortest distance?
It's pretty short.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah. I mean,
parks?
again, but center field is far. That's how it usually is. Like usually, center. I mean, obviously center field's the farthest, but like most, I would say like 325 is an average down the line.
Yeah.
Which is still a pretty good shot. But like with Fenway, you just see it sometimes. It just curves around that foul pole just enough where you're gonna get basically left-handed hitters fucking love Fenway Park because you just pull it down the right field line. It's you got to Halma. And then also, it's sad now because how big and powerful baseball players are now, whether it's steroids or not. The big green monster is almost not a fucking challenge anymore. They just yoke those balls over there like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, well, it's feels small inside of there too, a little bit.
It's like 35 feet,
yeah,
so you still have to like really crank that thing.
It's not as. It's still bigger than the Ivy Wall in Wrigley Field.
Oh yeah. I mean, it still robs people of home runs. I mean, like I said, it's not like a little pop, ding, or fly, but you still, have to really hit the shit out of the ball. But I remember going there, and it was cool just to see it in person. It's like because you can't think of like very many stadiums. I mean, you probably can if you really sit and think about it.
I can think of at least.
But
three.
but like going to a stadium and seeing something that's bigger than almost bigger than the stadium. Like you walk in there and it's just there. All it is a fucking green wall.
Yeah.
But it's like the coolest thing in the world to see as a baseball fan.
Well, and the great thing is you can walk in there and it just doesn't feel commercialized like
no,
many
it doesn't.
other.
No, you're right.
Baseball
You're
sold out.
stadiums
that's a good.
nowadays.
You're absolutely right. I mean, because like I
piece
said,
of history,
it's
yeah.
Fortunately, Yankee Stadium is no more.
And I never got that because you didn't have to rip down Yankee Stadium.
No, but I mean the thing is they built the new one right next to it.
They did, yeah.
So then you would have just like two stadiums.
To be
there.
fair, it doesn't look like there used to be a stadium in that area.
Yeah.
Because I had friends that lived like down the street from.
They had
it.
already developed it over.
Yeah,
But
or at least by now they have developed it over.
I'm sad to say I
all the way
never.
up in the Bronx.
I'm sad to say I never went to Yankees game in the old Yankee Stadium.
It's the only
but,
borough I've never been to. Bronx.
But I've been to a bunch of stadiums. I mean,
Ever go
was
to City Field?
Ever see a grown man naked?
Yes, and yes. The was it Coughlin Field, the Royals Field, where they got the waterfalls in center field. That was really cool. Like I remember going there as a kid.
Oh, that would be neat to see.
By the way, Jake, if you're interested, tickets to sit on the big green monster range from $1,000 to $1,300,
seems
depending
about
on
right.
which row.
I
For one
I could sell a
game,
pop figure for that much.
for one
I'm
game,
gonna see myself out, guys. It's been nice knowing you.
but they sell packages of up to 3
Just
games.
walk right into traffic.
3 nights, not
Yeah.
not shared nights. To do 3 games, 3 nights. The range, it's only 3 rows of seats, and each row is a different price. It ranges from $2,400 to $3,000.
Worth it.
I'm gonna stick to the old $15 nosebleed seats.
Those $10 standing room only on Mondays at Nats Park.
I'd be able to afford and stand. Like unlike most ball stadiums, they have those terrible seats where I can't fit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just knee wise. Not even talking about how chumpy I am.
Or just like, yeah.
Chumpy.
Chuddy.
I am Consciousness.
I am chumpy.
That's another film that got the nondescript John seal of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He liked Kingsman, though.
That's good because
Yeah.
I enjoyed Kingsman.
Kingsman I like Kingsman more than Age of Ultron, if I'm to be perfectly
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know it doesn't have
Josh
a
is being
I know.
decisive.
I enjoyed them equally. They were films.
Yeah.
Well,
I have
see,
to
here's
say
the
that I
thing.
both liked them very much, and they were both just as good as the other.
Here's one thing I'll say, and this is a thing that I mentioned while we were up in Boston with our friend Sarah. I saw Age of Ultron, and I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, that was a solid action movie. And then like a month later-ish is when Mad Max came out, and I was blown away with it. And now I have no desire to see Age of Ultron again. But you know what? I could see Kingsman again. It was not. It's
own Kingsman.
it was
House
not.
owned.
It was not lacklusterized by how amazing Mad Max was.
Yeah, I was afraid because I've heard a lot of friends say that Mad Max so far has been the best film they've seen of this year, and it's
I mean,
kind
I'll
of
still
like,
say that.
well, so if anything else comes out, are you gonna skip it in fear of Mad Max being usurped?
Oh no,
by
I want
something
to
else?
see it so
No,
I can gauge on whether that statement is still true. I mean, up until that point, it had been almost every single movie was the best movie that I had seen that year.
Up until Fury Road, it was Ex Machina for me.
Yeah,
Ex
that,
Machina was
that's
the
true.
high- was the high mark.
It was, but like for the most part, like this year has just been kind of like an upward climb
Yeah.
until Mad Max hit, and then
Furious
it's,
7, best Fast and Furious movie.
yeah, well,
Jurassic World was a lot of fun.
I know you're a
San
6
Andreas.
guy and you're
I'm a 5.
You're a 5er. Yeah. And you're
I haven't really paid attention to this series to
Tokyo
make a.
Drift.
Yeah.
Oh no,
No,
I
too
have.
fast.
I've seen that one, and yeah, no.
You know,
that is definitely
now
not
that
it.
now that it makes sense within the series, it's a lot better. Now, Too Fast, Too Furious really is the weakest one.
Well, I'm gonna have to see what makes it make sense, so I can still say no.
Well, then watch Furious 7.
Coming 2017, maybe. Commentaries for all the first 7
Oh,
Fast and Furious movies.
I can't wait. I have them all on my computer.
Well, that would be
I got
the
'em all
first
on
time I've
Blu-ray.
seen them to actually
Ooh.
pay attention.
Oh, that's
to
right.
them.
Yeah, you got that box set.
Yeah, because it came with voodoo codes.
Ooh.
Voodoo.
Did it leave room for more films to be added to it?
7?
No, the box set.
No.
Oh, so it's
No,
not
it
like
wasn't- it
it's not
wasn't
like
like
the
the-
James Bond 50th anniversary where they
Yeah.
left room for
Skyfall.
yeah.
I wish, but no, it was
For
just
some
like
reason in my head it was Solaris, and I was like,
The
no.
George Clooney movie?
yeah, where
No,
it's
the
Natasha
Russian-
McCone in
no,
space.
the Russian movie that it's based on. Dick.
Oh.
Yeah, from the 60s.
So the George Clooney movie.
George Clooney makes every movie better.
He does. He's what injected life into Tomorrowland for me.
And
I
Batman
mean-
and Robin.
I'm gonna say it. He made the Ocean's films a hell of a lot better.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that Eddie Izzard did that quite well.
Though he only shows up in
Ooh,
what, 13?
well,
No,
No.
12 and 13.
12 and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the Simon Pegg of the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
Comes in late but stays for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Although with 3,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, I mean, well.
Well, that worked for Star Trek. Came in late, stayed for the rest of it.
Yeah, well, for Simon and that and
for the first Star Trek movie.
well, and for Simon Pegg, shit, he's writing. He co-wrote the third Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that is.
Where he gets beyond Star Trek.
Yeah.
Where he finally gets beyond Thunderdome.
I hope it's better than Beyond Thunderdome.
I really hope they pass a planet named Thunderdome.
Captain, we are moving
The
beyond.
USS Thunderdome.
Two men enter, one man
And
leaves.
then all of them just fucking explode and the
Yeah.
franchise is
And then
over.
children out of nowhere, just children.
It survived the motion picture. It survived Star Trek Enterprise. It could survive maybe this.
Maybe.
It survived the one with dolphins.
Is there like
Whales,
is there
but I
like
still-
a
One of these days I'm going to remember it was whales.
Captain, there'll be whales here.
do
It's my
people
least favorite line in the entire fucking movie.
do people not like the Star Trek reboot? Because I remember when it was coming out, people were like all like, "Oh yeah, and then like a year or two went by, and they were like, "Nah, fuck it."
I feel like I'm like the prime example of it.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Which is
I ride Dinobots. And get like resurrected by a cube being shoved in my chest. I enjoy them, but they're one of those. Not one. There's two. There are two of those movies where the more you think about it, you're like, this is kind of dumb.
That was how I was with Inception. Like in the terms of like every time I watch it, I find myself enjoying it like exponentially less. Like not even like, oh, I've seen this a couple times, so it doesn't have that new car smell. Like it's just like I am not having fun.
Well, also, the reboots were like a development hell type deal where there was rumored way back when that, they were going to redo the films, and it was
then-
always going to be
and
the
then
Academy
Enterprise
years.
happened, right?
Well, the Academy years were always originally the Academy. The idea of seeing the main cast in their formative years came up during Star Trek 4 because Shatner wasn't contracted for Star Trek 4, and he kind of got a bit butthurt that Nimoy was being asked to direct another Star Trek movie because he also directed Search for Spock. And he's like, "What the fuck? Why don't I get to direct a Star Trek movie?" And he kind of held out for more money and a promise to direct Star Trek: The Final Frontier. And so up
One
until
of my favorites.
it's certainly the first Star Trek thing I ever saw. in its entirety. And the the big thing about so while they were trying to secure Shatner, they're like, well, if this doesn't go through, let's do a prequel, and they nixed it. And then it came up again when they were doing Star Trek 6, because Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, was originally, it is supposed to be a celebration of, at that point, I think 25 years of Star Trek, because it came out in 91.
Yeah, because my Laserdisc box set is the 25th anniversary, and it has the first 5.
Right. And the originally, they were like, hey, what if we do the Academy again? And they were like, nah, we need to give the original crew their kind of like a swan song, and that's what Undiscovered Country is. So, yeah.
But ever since then, it's been something continuously rumored until
on
it
the
finally
back
happened.
burner, maybe,
Yeah. I mean, once it was like next gen cast, they're like all next gen all the time, and then Star Trek Nemesis box office numbers came in, and they're like, let's do the Academy, and that's what forced their hand. But yeah, you guys got anything to add before we sign off?
I've been playing Arkham Knight.
Oh shit! Yeah, how is that?
Yeah.
Not as enjoyable as Arkham City.
Oh.
Pity, but better than Arkham Origins.
Yes, a wet paper bag full of shit is better than Origins.
Is that what your favorite?
That's my
Jake?
favorite.
I mean,
Just so we're clear.
to be fair, he does love wet paper bags full of shit.
And I do love Savages and Chappie.
And, I mean, to be fair, Rocksteady didn't make Origins either, so...
That's the problem.
Warner Brothers Montreal, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. It had to be translated from French.
Yeah, Quebecois. The
I thought they sounded a little different in Gotham that game.
yeah.
And that's why the Batmobile doesn't handle well.
Is that is that your big sticking point? Like, if you had to point to one thing, or would you just say it's like less inspired, or what, the combat sucks? What?
It is a game.
Yeah, well, they force a lot of rushed ideas into the game without... There's like almost no hand-holding. And mind you, I bring all criticism on for what I'm about to say. I am playing the game first through easy mode. And there is absolutely no hand-holding,
How
no
dare you
help
do
at
something
all.
that you know you can handle?
Because I would enjoy it the first time
how
through.
How dare you choose the easiest difficulty so you can go through the game with both eyes open?
Yeah. And
How dare you make it so that you can actually play the entire game without getting frustrated with how difficult it is?
You haven't snapped the disc yet.
oh, there have been many times where I've told myself, I swear to God, if the Batmobile does something one more time I am disagreeing with, just
You'd
snap.
think on easy mode it would just drive for you.
Yeah, you think cruise control
Google
would be an
smart
option.
cars, yeah.
Or
But-
at least a Tesla.
Not even Bruce Wayne's smart enough to have his car handle well.
Do you
But he
have,
is smart enough to have a white Batmobile as a backup.
and OnStar.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so you
And
would
he'll get drive through.
would you put it like number 2, like above Asylum but below City?
Asylum, City... No, City, Asylum, Night, Origins.
Okay. All right. I still have to play it. I mean, I'm completely...
Based on the watch throughs that I've viewed, which I think is only our Asylum and City, I would have to agree with your order.
Yeah. You didn't.
So,
you never
the
watched
first
the
two.
Origins.
No.
What?
No, I was watching them right around the time that Origins came out, and my friends that were playing it were bad mouthing it, and I was like, well, but I liked City, so I'll just leave it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. So, middling things for Arkham Knight. See Inside Out. And see Ted if you enjoyed Ted 1, and True Detective Man, and listen to that theme.
TD,
Oh, yeah.
man.
And my
TD.
challenge. Listen to that theme and don't.
Challenge still stands.
Yeah. Yeah. You've.
I caved.
Well, the second time through.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it.
Well, yeah, the first time through, I was just so resilient, and then shocked. It was more like
Dumbfounded, just
yeah,
like, what-
exactly.
Well, no, how
like
about
I almost had no reaction,
How about the challenge be listen to that theme while getting a blowjob see
and
if
not
you can...
make the Taylor Kitsch face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't the challenge be to make the Taylor?
Yeah,
Yes.
keep the
You're
Taylor
being-
Kitsch
You're
face.
being bombarded by this god awful theme, and you're getting oral stimulation.
And see if you can keep the Taylor
You
Kitsch
should-
face during it.
See if you can stay hard during it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, see if somebody can send us either Facebook or Twitter or somewhere what movie what Clint Eastwood movie is the framed picture in Taylor Kitsch's mom's house from?
I thought. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you can do this, we still have plenty of posters,
Yes.
Comics.
comics.
Yeah.
You will get
They're
one
yours.
if you can do this successfully.
Yeah. Anyway, so this has been another installment Catching Up. I'm Sam,
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Are you kidding me? Dude, just go there, geek out, have a good time.